West Des Moines on what is going to be a journey of love, putting the spotlight on the compassion and caring Iowans have for one another. Now, usually about this time of year, we'd be gearing up for the annual Variety Telethon here at Local 5. But COVID has changed all of that. And to explain, I'm being joined right now by the Executive Director of Variety, the children's charity, Sherry McMichael. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Lou. How are you?
Great. Now, we need to explain what is going on here tonight.
Well, we sure do. This is the first time in 47 years that we will not be hosting an in-person live event. But, you know, COVID has taught us a lot over the past year, and so we are pivoting and doing our Spotlight program. And we are just so thrilled to be here tonight to be able to share the impact that Variety is having on our community. The most important thing to remember is that the dollars are staying right here in our community and benefiting the kids that live here.
Right. Thanks, Sherry. Now, Variety relies on donation and fundraising to make dreams come true. And that's where for
Dolby Audio Technology
has played a vital role in gathering funds. But did you know the Telethon is also what saved the organization from extinction? Let's go back to how the Telethon all began, where we learned that Variety, the children's charity here in Iowa, was on the verge of not existing if it wasn't for the efforts of several very visionary individuals, including an instrumental role from Stanley J. Reynolds. Here's Stan to explain.
We had a group of us, the four of us, they said the four founders were Stephen Blank, Ray Johnson, Mike Riley, and myself. But there was lots of other people that were involved too, and I won't start naming names because once I do that, but there were some wonderful people that were involved and that have continued to be involved. But we, three of us went to a convention in San Francisco, and this was before they had they had computer screens that told you you had a message. This was the little boxes with a little note in it. Come to room 405 at 2:30. And so we went in there and we walked in, and the Variety International board was sitting there, and they told us they were going to pull our charter. They said, "You're not going to like this meeting." They said, "What do you mean you're going to pull our charter? We got things going now." "No, you don't raise any money. You're not helping any children." I said, "Give us a chance. Give us a chance. We've got a new group of people. We've got a new charity. We're going to raise money for the neonatal intensive care unit,
Dolby Audio Technology,
which is now called the Variety Neonatal Unit in Blank Children's Hospital." But they said, "Okay, we'll put you on probation for a year." And Ray Johnson and Steve Blank and I went to a seminar on how to put on a telethon. We came back to Iowa and said, like Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland said, "We're going to put on a telethon." People laughed at us, and we were too dumb to know that we couldn't do it. And Mike Riley, who was the other founder, he was our money guy. And we went up to Ames and talked to Bob Mulhall at what then called WITV. And he said, "I'll go with you guys, even though you have no experience, if you could get a star." Well, we were fortunate that a great person from the international board who became my mentor was Monty Hall from Let's Make a Deal. And make a long story short, we got Monty Hall to say yes to come to Iowa to be our telethon. He was our star. They put us on the air. We raised $151,000. We all bawled like babies. And we didn't know what we were going to do. The next year we did $154,000. That's a whole nother story in itself. And it went on from $301,000 to $500,000 to $1 million. Where in 2020, we had our 46th telethon. We did 4.1.
Dolby Audio Technology.
For that period of time, $122 million has been raised to help children. And I think the telethon has a real hero in its making in this telethon. We lost our third child, Bridget. She was born with problems. She was in Blank Hospital. That's the reason we knew about the need for to expand and equip the neonatal unit at Blank. She lived for 15 months. And as we were driving home, Jody looks at me and she said, "We're going to make her life count." And we did.
Wow.
$1 million, it really is in her honor, because without her, we probably wouldn't have the dedication. And Jody was just as dedicated, just as much involved. She handled all the interviews on the telethon. unfortunately, we lost Jody a year and a half ago, and it's my best pal, 51 years. We were married. We touched a lot of lives. Both of us became international presidents of Variety, as did Mike Riley. And so we had 3 international presidents from Iowa, which is kind of an unusual situation. Back from that board that was going to pull our charter. So we were never big on pulling charters. We like to make them get better. So we did that. All of us were known to be great helpers of varieties around the world.
Dolby Audio Technology.
I had a business that enabled me to do it because of variety. The great thing of variety is there's no fancy offices, there's no expense accounts. You do something, you pay for it yourself. And that's what I like about variety. The money gets to the kids. And by getting to the kids, I can feel justified in putting my efforts into the program.
You know, the telethon is a little different this year. You know, we can't have the telethon as we had it back in '75 when you started it, and that's the reason that we have this spotlight special going on right now. What would you say to those people that are watching us right now that normally would tune in for the telethon and watch a telethon and make donations, to let them know how important it really is to continue to support variety?
Of course, Iowa, I mean, the Iowans and the surrounding states, they're terrific people. But we have a lot of kids that are counting on us. And it isn't just the kid we help, it's the parents of the kids. And so we need to raise that money because we spend it every year. We don't save money in a special account for the future. We spend all the money, so we have to re-raise the money every year. We save this on the telethon, we also save this for the special. We're going to be down a year. We're going to come back as soon as this pandemic takes a hike. I sure hope I get my second shot on Sunday, so that's good. But I will come back. We don't want to lose it because it's too important. One time,
Dolby Audio Technology.
too much work. And I said, wait a minute, there's a lot of kids counting on us. And there's a lot of kids counting on you out there right now. You've got to be involved in this thing. We can't let it go by the wayside. So we gotta change our modus operandi, and for a year anyway. And I believe if we need a facility, we should have it right here in Iowa, not have to go to Chicago or New York or wherever. And we have a state of the art, both at Mercy and at Blank. They're as good as it could possibly be. So you can feel confident if you to give birth and know if there's a problem. You have a place to go. But that's just one area. There's lots of other areas that Variety's been involved with.
Stan Reynolds, it is so great to see you.
Great thing is, having a program like this, you don't have to hear me sing.
Hey, Stan, we're not done. We're not done talking yet. We're not done talking. You have to sing a little bit for us before we can say goodbye to you. You realize that, right?
I've been told I never met an audience I didn't like. Variety, variety, the heart that helps the children, that's variety. For kids who aren't so lucky, variety strives to give them a future and brighten their lives. That's enough.
There you go.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Well done. Thank you. On behalf of everyone involved and all the lives you have helped save, thank you and all your efforts.
We love you guys.
Tell everybody why they should donate to Variety right now, why they should pick up the phone and dial 243-GIVE.
Well, you pick up the phone and do that because we need you more than ever. I mean, because we're not having the telethon, we really have to get, maybe you could give a little more than you normally give just because we don't have the telethon this year. That would be a wonderful thing. And I hope we don't drop off. We may, but we're going to do the best we can. So give us a call, help a child. It'll make you feel good, I guarantee you.
Stan guarantees donating will make you feel good, and it will. 243-GIVE is the number to call. Right now, there are people standing by to take your calls. Now, Stan also added that if you're looking for someone to make a donation in their honor, please do so in honor of Jody. Now, speaking of donations, Iowa companies have stepped up time after time, and one company finds the magic in donating to Variety. They have a tendency to continue to do so, and that's the case with an iconic Iowa business who actually incorporated a new program into its operations last year that gave them the ability to present Variety with a big check this year. There's a rich history between Variety and Fairway
Dolby Audio Technology.
and CEO Reynolds Kramer about what it means to be involved with Variety.
You know, we've been doing this for a long time, over 30 years, and it's been an amazing run, and it just continues to get better. You know, our employees work hard, our customers give, and it's all about the kids. And, you know, when I think back to over 30 years and we add it up every year, we're over $2 million that Fairway's raised for Variety.
Over $2 million. That is a lot of money. Oh my goodness. And how long have you personally been involved in doing things with Variety, especially with the telethon? Because I know how much you enjoy doing the telethon.
Yeah, the telethon has been so fun, so many years. I think back to when I was on the board and past president of Variety, and just put in the time and the, you know, it's all volunteer. Everybody that's on that board and everybody that's doing things is volunteering their time. And once again, it's for the kids, it's for the families. So we look at things every year and we say to ourselves, hey, we got to put more money in the kitty. We got to raise more dollars because there's more and more kids out there that need help.
What does it mean to the company, to Fairway Meat and Grocery, to be involved with Variety? Why is it so special to them?
Well, I tell you what, Lou, anytime that you can see a child's face brighten up, get excited about something that we're doing to help them.
Dolby Audio Technology.
It's the grandparents, it's the aunts and uncles. I mean, everyone is getting just an emotional response to the fact that, hey, somebody is helping them out. And you know, example is our specialized bike program that we do with Variety, and Fairway's so fortunate to be a part of that. We have the privilege to have our store managers around the state take time and give away specialized bicycles. So the family comes to the store. They normally bring a bunch of people with them in the family. And then that little boy, that little girl, they jump on that little bicycle because maybe they can't walk. Maybe they can't ride a regular bicycle. So these are bicycles that are $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a piece that we help raise money to purchase. And next thing you know, they're out there riding with their siblings and they're just a kid having fun. And so to see that, it just warms your heart.
You talked about the special mobility bikes and how expensive they are, but there are other siblings in the family too, and you don't want to have them feel left out. You provide traditional bicycles for the siblings too. Tell us about that.
You know, that's one thing that Variety saw, that a child would get a bicycle and then typically there'd be kind of a discussion there. And maybe one family member would say, boy, you know, we need to get now a bike for big brother. And because maybe they've outgrown their bicycle. So we've, along with Variety, we
Dolby Audio Technology.
A brother or sister get this specialized bike, and all of a sudden we roll out another bicycle and a helmet, and now everybody's got a bike, and it's a great thing.
How cool is that? You mentioned your managers, the employees of Fairway helping and raising money for Variety, the children's charities. That is really very special too, isn't it?
Well, it's great because it sends that message that not only do we care as a company, but we want to involve our employees. And when they start finding out, what Variety is, I think that's the biggest thing right now is, what is Variety? And I don't know if everyone understands. Variety is a charity that brings in money every year. Then they send it out to all these organizations. There's great ones, Child Serve, Easter Seals. I can go on and with these lists. These organizations, they ask for money because they need to spend it to help children. If it's medical needs, if it's bikes, on and on. So next thing you know, that money's spent, and now the next year we got to raise it again. So every year our employees get behind it. And then awesome, when our customers sit there and they'll in the check stand, they'll say, what are you doing? What's this promotion? Well, we're doing a roundup. And this roundup has turned out to be amazing. So the customer says, yeah, I'll round up, another 13 cents or 26 cents, whatever the number is. And next thing you know, this year, telethon, $235,000.
Dolby Audio Technology.
And that was all from your roundup program that you had last July. That was the first time you guys did that. And $235,000 is what you presented Variety this year?
That's right. And, along with Fairway support and our employee support, the customers came through, and it just an amazing number.
We can look forward to the rounding up again this year.
Yeah, we're going to do it again this year. There's a lot of other neat things that we're doing. We got a neat adventure at Blank Park Zoo, and just on and on. We keep coming up with ideas to raise the dollars.
What would you tell somebody out there right now that is thinking about making a donation to Variety, the children's charity?
If you call in, I think, Lou, you're promoting the number to call, and you call in right now, and we'll there's opportunities that great companies like ourselves are doing matches and everything going on during this big, huge push right now for dollars. So call in. You're going to change the life of a child and their family. I don't care if it's $10, $25, $100, whatever it is, it's going to add up for a big change, and it's going to make a child very happy.
Thanks, buddy. Now, Reynolds talked about how important the mobility bikes were to helping kids be kids. Here's one of the bikes in the studio with us. As you can see, this is no ordinary bike. You heard him mention these bikes can cost thousands of dollars, but are provided to the kids
Dolby Audio Technology.
through Variety. But it's not just bikes. There's all type of devices that give kids the freedom they seek. And with help from Nikki Lokenvitz, a physical therapist at ChildServe, let's take a look at some of these amazing and expensive pieces of equipment that Variety helps get into the homes of kids that really need them. Well, we all know what great work Variety does on a daily basis, especially important when kids are able to do things they normally couldn't do. And sometimes that's with the use of devices. And that's what we're going to be talking about here as we have Nikki Lokenvitz joining us. She's a physical therapist from ChildServe, and she is surrounded by some of the machines that give kids the ability to do things they normally couldn't do. Thank you for being here. How long have you been a physical therapist?
I've been a physical therapist for 11 years at ChildServe the whole time.
So you've seen the difference that these devices can make in a child's life.
Yes, a lot of these devices let kids be kids. If they can't ride a normal bike, they can ride an adapted bike with their friends or their brothers and sisters. The gait trainers, the standers, it lets them be up, it lets them be mobile, it lets them be kids.
And the thing is, these things are not inexpensive. They cost a lot of money.
Yes.
And Variety gives the ability to give the money for these machines, and then the families get to take them and use them.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of these pieces of equipment are several $1,000s.
Wow.
Bikes especially, insurance does not cover, so Variety is really our main funding
Dolby Audio Technology.
to have access to specialized bicycles.
Something as simple as a bike
Yes.
can change the perspective of a child's
Absolutely.
life. And let's take a look at some of these if we can, so people can understand why they cost thousands of dollars. First of all, what do we have in front of you here right now?
This green one here, this is a Riften adaptive tricycle. The nice thing about it, it's 3 wheels, so it's really stable, very adaptable. We can do specialized seating options. We can give support for kiddos who might not have the best sitting balance. If they need a little bit of head support, we can do that. Specialized foot straps to help keep feet in place, and then the steering bar, so if they aren't able to steer by themselves, their parents can walk behind them and help them steer as they're going along.
But are these bikes able to be utilized? Can a kid get into one of these and drive around and do some laps by themselves?
Yes.
They
yes,
can.
I have several kids that can do all this by themselves. So if they don't need somebody to help them steer, we don't put that part on. If they can steer by themselves, we get them strapped in and they go.
Wow, that is really neat. Now, this one here is a little bit different than the one that's behind you. What are some of the differences between these two?
Some of the differences, one thing about this one that's really nice is you can see on that green part, it's a little bit lower. So for kids who might need help getting onto it, they can very easily just put their foot on that green part and sit down, versus this
Dolby Audio Technology.
They have a different bar system, so it's a little bit trickier getting on and off for some of our kiddos. Differences, a little bit different handlebars, wheel sizes. Otherwise, a lot of the components are very similar. The steering contraption for this one is behind versus kind of on the side on that one. But similar supports. This one, we can have the harness that we have on that one, head support. This one's got a fun little tiger squeaky toy on it.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it. That's important.
So some of the kids,
Yeah.
they have different animals you can pick from. Both options have little pulleys here, so for kids who who have a hard time picking up their toes, these can help kind of keep those foot plates even so they're not running their feet into the ground
Got it,
with those
okay.
pedals.
Wow, I never thought about that, but everything is built into these things, and the child does receive this, and they can have at it. They can
Yeah.
really, be a kid.
Exactly.
Which is important. And that
Yes.
helps kids get around on these bikes that are built for them. But there's something behind you, too, that is also a mobility type device. Now, what do we
Yes.
have here?
This is called a gait trainer. I'm actually going to turn this around real quick. Most of our kids will face this way in it. So what this device does is this lets the kids walk. So for kids who might have some core instability,
Dolby Audio Technology.
we can put them into this harness here. They've got a seat that can give them support, and then it lets them go. It lets them walk. It lets them be upright. It lets them move around. Kind of similar with a bike, if they need a little bit of help kind of navigating where they're going, the parent can be behind them, helping them
And push
along.
them along.
Yep.
And you see they have handles for the kids to hang on to as well.
Yep, these are one option. There's also an option where the kids can rest their arms. There's a lot of different options that can customize these to what each kid needs.
And again, thousands of dollars of what
Yes.
these things cost, and Variety provides them to kids that really need them.
Yes.
And it can help them get around and be a normal kid.
Exactly.
That is great. And the one that I'm standing next to now, this one's a little taller. What is this one here?
This one is a stander. So this
Stander,
one
okay.
is more for just stationary, upright positioning. Standing has had a lot of benefits. It promotes weight bearing through the legs, stimulates bone development. It also just has benefits of the whole body being upright. The lungs can expand more, the GI system works better. It lets the kids view the world the way everybody else does.
And how complicated it is to get somebody into one of these?
With this one, most of our standers can can lay down. So like with this one, what we can do is we lay it backwards.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Okay.
And then the
Oh,
parents
wow.
lay the kids on, strap all the safety features. This tray comes off.
Yeah, look at the support, and that's what I really like to
Yes,
see
so
about here.
this would go around their hips. This helps keep their knees in place. The feet would be here. This can help hold their trunk in place. And then once they're secured in, the parents lift them back up and they're standing.
Oh my goodness. And these are just a few of the different things that are being provided by
Yes.
Variety when kids need some assistance to help feel like a normal kid does. And what does that make you feel like when you see a kid that's able to jump on a bike or maybe use the gait walker there and be able to move around?
That's part of my job. When they realize they can move, just the smiles on their faces, they're so happy to be up and moving. They're just happy. They're kids. They like to be like other kids.
And Variety makes this possible.
Variety makes it possible.
That's what we're here for, everybody. We're here because Variety makes things like these possible for kids to be kids. Variety believes all children should also have the opportunity to experience a playground, so Variety is working with Iowa communities to provide all-inclusive playgrounds for children with and without special needs. They're called Variety
Dolby Audio Technology.
Complex that has just opened up on the iconic grounds of Riverview Park with Des Moines Park and Rec. Variety also helps out organization with Variety Vans. Over 400 Variety Vans in the past 40 years have been provided to children's organizations in Iowa. These vans transport children to doctor's appointments, therapy sessions, special outings, or even the ability to apply for and get a job with Iowa Homeless Youth Center. And they help with projects that include hands-on vocational training unlike any other, like at Freedom Construction Services. Let's take a quick look at all three of these things right now.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Isn't that amazing? This is all part of the grant program Variety has in place, which provides funding to more than 90 nonprofit children's organizations right here in Iowa for tangible items such as building expansions, renovations, equipment, programming needs, and more. And one of the organizations that utilizes funding from Variety on an annual basis is Easter Seals Iowa. Variety has transformed their ability to serve more and more Iowans each and every year. Let's learn about how Variety has helped Easter Seals Iowa, including a new project later this year. Well, Variety reaches so many great organizations here in central Iowa, and one of those great organizations happens to be Easter Seals Iowa. Sherry Nielsen, the president and CEO of Easter Seals. Tell us a little bit about how
Dolby Audio Technology.
Easter Seals Iowa.
Thanks, Lou. Well, Variety has touched everything that we do at camp and our Child Development Center. You know, we have had the opportunity to work with Variety for so many years. They hold us up, they lift up our mission, they support the projects that we're trying to implement and the new things that we want to do to better serve Iowa families.
Give us an example of something that you wanted to do and you were trying to figure out how you're going to accomplish it, and Variety stepped up and said, hey, we're going to help you. Give us a couple of examples.
Yeah, I would love to. So just here recently in our rec center, which we use for our integrated child care in the summer, we needed to have some updated bathrooms in there. You know, bathrooms aren't always the most fun project, but they're very necessary, especially for the individual children that we support. A lot of times they need personal supports in the bathroom, and our bathroom was not designed to be accessible or to really meet our needs. So we went to Variety, and they were happy to assist us get those all updated so that we are now able to assist children with personal cares in a way that's dignified and gives them privacy.
Wow, that's one. But another example of how they stepped up when you had a problem and they helped you solve it.
Yeah, so we do love to do new things at camp. The whole point of camp is so when kids come here, they have an opportunity to try new things, make friends, and really boost their self-confidence. And so when we wanted to put in a
Dolby Audio Technology.
Stepped up for us when we wanted to have a tree climbing apparatus, so kids that maybe don't have the physical capacity to climb a tree like a typical developing child might, Variety stepped up and made sure that we had the funds to do stuff like that. That really makes a difference in a kid's experience at camp.
Now, anybody that spent any time in central Iowa pulls up to a stoplight and there could be a van pulling up next to you and say Easter Seals Iowa, and this van provided by Variety. How important is that to your program?
You know what, it's so important. So many times we want to be able to make sure that our kids have an opportunity to get out in the community and do fun things. And so without those vans, we wouldn't be able to do that. Even in our Child Development Center, our Inclusive Child Development Center, Variety coordinates and pays for transportation so our kids can go do things in Des Moines, like go to the zoo or go to the Botanical Center and take other educational field trips throughout the year.
Okay, so is this more than just vans then, is what it sounds like, is that they were helping you have transportation to get kids about everywhere?
Absolutely. You know, whenever we want to try something new or do something new or just provide better services, Variety is one of our first calls. They always are willing to help us.
All right, what's the latest project that they're working on?
So I'm really excited to share that this fall we will be building in collaboration with Hubble a new child development center. We were selected to be their extreme build, and Easter Seals has to do some fundraising so we can make that happen along with
Dolby Audio Technology.
We called Variety, and we're going to be able to take our existing center that serves 60 children, and we're going to be able to double our capacity to 120 and really meet that need for childcare in our community.
So what type of things can the children experience in the center?
So we like to call Our center, a fun place, but also an educational place. All of the children that come have the opportunity to be in our preschool classroom where they're learning and preparing to go to school. Many of our children that come are able to integrate right into a typical developing classroom. And then the really cool thing about our center is not only do kids get to do all of the fun things, ride the horses, be on the boat, experience the rock climbing wall, learn, but they also get to learn about children with disabilities. And for our kids without disabilities, they get an opportunity to understand and to really support the growth and development of those children with disabilities.
And that really wouldn't be made possible if it wasn't for the funding that Variety has supported Easter Seals Iowa with.
Absolutely. Variety has always been a great partner for us and has helped us accomplish our mission time and time again.
Do we know how many years back Variety and Easter Seals have been partnering up?
Well, Lou, I will have to be honest with you. We had to look it up, and we had records clear back to 1984. I was still in high school then, Lou. That is how long Variety has been supporting this mission and making this mission happen throughout the state of Iowa.
Now, is it
Dolby Audio Technology.
from Variety to Easter Seals Iowa, or is it like mission-based, or is it project-based?
Yes, so Variety, that's one of the things that makes them such a valuable partner, is they really want to understand what's happening and what's current in our situation as we're providing the mission. And so we have a conversation and we submit a proposal. They send out one of their team members and their board members to take a look at what we're proposing, and we provide some information about how it's going to impact Iowa kids. And then they make an invitation for us to present to part of their board, and then they determine based on each presentation who's going to get funded. So, you know, they have a lot of demands, and they always try to really make sure that the needs of Iowa children are met.
Right, that's what this special is all about, is talking about the many ways Variety reaches out and helps organizations. And what would you say to somebody who's watching right now that is thinking about, you know, maybe I will make a donation to Variety if they're going to be doing all these great things? What would you say to them right now?
I would say there's no better way to invest your money than to support Variety. They support Iowa children, and they make sure that their dollars are spent here in Iowa to make a difference in the families of Iowa.
Easter Seals Iowa does such incredible work. Well, you know, another word that you hear a lot around here is compassion, and you may have noticed these guys over here. These are my bear.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Are Variety Compassion Bears. They're used to help raise money every year for the Compassion Fund. You see, Variety partners with Iowa hospitals to help critically ill children and their families by providing comfort and care and fulfilling immediate needs. The Compassion Fund is designed to help alleviate the stress and the financial burden a family faces while their child is hospitalized. And right now, how about this? If you make a donation of $200 or more at 243-GIVE and mention my buddies, these little bears right here, Variety will make sure that you get one of these for yourself. How about that? How cool is that? Now, fundraising is the name of the game, but for two Central Iowa superheroes, it has become a passion. Their fundraising numbers over the years are simply staggering. Rosalie Gallagher and Steve Halschilt are what we call superheroes and VIPs here at Variety, but VIP doesn't stand for what you think it does. Rosalie, would you please explain what VIP stands for?
A VIP is a very interested person. That's what we have named our panel people, and they are so important to us, and they're very interested persons, but I say they're very important also to Variety and the children.
You know, I got asked to be a VIP about 22 years ago by Charlie Taylor, who was a former president.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Variety. And I went to my first telethon, really didn't understand exactly what it meant, but it was a good charity to be a part of. Started raising money, and you know, one of the things that a VIP is asked to do is to give or get $2,500. And that first year, it's difficult to go out and find, you know, $2,500 by asking family, friends, and colleagues. But you keep doing it over and over again. You tell your story of why you're engaged, and you get other people to come along. And I'm in the construction industry, and I'm fortunate to work with an industry that's very charitable. And every year I go out and I make that ask. I ask for a little bit more. I'm not as successful as Rosalie is, but Rosalie is my inspiration. She has been for many, many years. And so I try to be like Rosalie as much as I possibly can.
So what was your driving force, Rosalie, when for your fundraising efforts? Because you have been doing a phenomenal job.
Well, I was introduced to Jody Reynolds. Yeah, I knew Jody, but in '96 is when I started to get involved. And Jody and Margot Blumenthal, both good friends of mine, said, would you just be on our panel? And then they asked me to take it over. That was in '96. And I've got a great panel of 13 women, and no matter where they are in the country,
Dolby Audio Technology,
the children, and it just keeps going on. It's hard to walk away.
When we're talking money being raised, how much money have each one of you had the ability to raise to help Variety?
Rosalie, you want to go first?
You know, I don't count it up. I will say our women's panel last year raised, we got a $100,000 pledge in the last few minutes of the telethon, so we went to $474,000. That's 13 women.
Wow, that's amazing. Steve, what about you?
And so our panel, mostly men. We've got a couple ladies, but it's a construction-centric group, and our goal is to try and break 300,000 every year. So Rosalie, inspired kind of this competition when I was president of the board, and we've continued to build this panel that's largely construction-centric folks. And someday we hope to achieve what Rosalie's achieved.
Now, what are people saying when you approach them, Steve, when you were asking for larger and larger amounts? And of course, you believe in what the mission of Variety really is. What is that light bulb moment for them when they realize that you're so passionate about this?
So, what my hook for Variety, I got into Variety just like I said, because Charlie Taylor asked me to do it. Our company does a lot of work for hospitals, and so you could see the correlation.
Dolby Audio Technology.
And how it impacted our customers. That's where it started. But then I got really hooked on my why for Variety is our specialized bike program. And so when you see a child and a family receive a bike that can cost anywhere from $2,500 to $7,500, it's life-changing. And there's just not a lot of organizations that do this. And so that became my why. And we've got binders full of kids that are eligible for these bikes. And so I've just kind of taken on a personal mission to empty the binder.
This year, I've asked people and say you haven't been anywhere, so maybe you'd like to double your pledge. Actually, X number of people have, or they'll increase it. I think it's the easiest cause in the world. If you can't raise money for children, who can you raise money for? Not a better purpose.
But I actually had past donors reaching out to me say, I'm assuming you're not going to have telethon, but you're still raising money. And so it was just the opposite. But like Rosalie, I miss the energy of telethon. I look forward to it. I've involved my kids in telethon. And so I'm sad that we're not going to have that. But when you go out to the donors and you make those asks, and I've tried to increase the ask amount, and they've all been responsive. And, Rosalie, she looked at it as, hey, you haven't been able to travel. There's things you haven't been able to do. And so how about you take that money and you invest it in kids? That
Dolby Audio Technology.
The impact of COVID and what it's done to our children and our at-risk youth, the need is so great. And so telling that story about those kids that really are depending on Variety and the charities that we donate money to help those at-risk youth, it's every year the ask is great. This year is even bigger.
What would you say to people right now if they're watching us and they're thinking about picking up that phone?
I would say it's the best reason in the world to raise money for, and we need your support. You just can't afford not to help children.
I think, most of the gifts that Variety receives throughout the year, and certainly at Telethon, aren't large gifts. Rosalie and I are fortunate to have donors that make big gifts, but most of it comes in the form of a miracle pledge of $52 or a double miracle pledge of $104. And when you step back and you think about all the blessings that you have in your life and the kids that can't go out and ask for that money, that's what I would ask, somebody considering to pick up that phone is to think about those kids and the blessings that you have in your life. Pay it forward to those kids that need it most. And the great thing about Variety is the money stays right here in Iowa. It goes directly to kids. And the board does an incredible job of vetting out any and all requests on where that money goes.
Dolby Audio Technology.
That when you give money to Variety, you know it's going to directly impact kids.
Now, if you add up what Rosalie and Steve's fundraising panels did last year alone, it exceeds $750,000. You two are rock stars. Thank you for everything that you do year after year. Well, corporate donations are essential to the operations at Variety, the children's charity, but no other Iowa company has invested the amount of hours or dollars to help Variety have the ability to help families as much as Hyvee. Hyvee has really embraced what Variety stands for, as do their employees and customers. We all know there's a helpful smile in every aisle, but did you realize there's helpful millions and millions of dollars going to Variety each and every year over the past several decades? Well, wait till you hear how much. Executive Vice President of Hyvee, Kevin Sherlock, who's also a VIP, explains the special relationship between Hyvee and Variety.
Well, for years we've been involved in the telethon. Obviously, that's adjusted a lot in the last couple of years and really made some of our fundraising efforts a little more challenging. And I know for Variety as well, it's been a challenge. And obviously, we need everybody to think about how they can step up in that area. But over the years, Hyvee really started back in 1983 with their involvement in Variety. And to date, we've given over $19 million to Variety. And a lot of that comes about through work with our supplier world.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Actively engaged. And certainly, obviously, at times we've been able to leverage our customers to help us for such a great cause of Variety. And again, we've just been proud to be a part of what Variety's been able to accomplish.
I want you just to wrap your head around that for a second, everybody. We're talking more than $19 million since 1983 that Hyvee has contributed to Variety, the children's charities. From someone who is in the executive position in Hyvee, how does that make you personally feel, Kevin?
I'm proud of that. We've been involved. Hyvee has in a lot of charities and in a lot of events, and we do so many things locally in our communities. But obviously, we've felt the great partnership here with the Variety Group, and just extremely proud of what our team has accomplished. As I said earlier, I just get to have this time to chat with you, Lou, but it's really all the folks day in and day out that are churning, working on making sure that we can contribute the hours and can help raise the funds to again support such a tremendous cause as Variety.
Now, you mentioned how vital the employees were and the customers were. Let's start with the employees. How has Hyvee encouraged the employees to get involved?
Well, again, Lou, for us, we've always felt like as a grocery store, we're the center of the community. So whether you're in your largest communities in Iowa or the smallest ones, we've always felt like we're the center of the community. And then part of being in the center of the community comes with responsibility.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Back, not just in dollars. Obviously, $19 million is a good give back, but not just in dollars, but in your time. And so we just really encourage our folks to be actively engaged in whether it's big events or organizations like Variety, or it can just be volunteering your time. So it's really been, since in the history of Hyvee, at least my time with Hyvee, that's been forefront is community involvement and really giving back when you can give back. So I guess it's just part of our culture.
Yeah, and the customers, part of your culture as well, the loyal customers of Hyvee, they contribute a lot too.
Absolutely. I look at any of this and we're just the vehicle that allows us to really contribute. And if we're not open doing the business we're doing, if the customers aren't in supporting us, we're not in a position that we can donate the money that we've donated, not just to Variety, but to the other events, local organizations and other big events that we've done. So obviously, the doors are open because of our customers.
Yeah, one of the things that I know Hyvee is very proud of is your involvement in the mobility program. Talk about that, please.
Yeah, so the mobility program, for those that aren't aware, and just giving kids an opportunity to experience things that they've never experienced. I had the good fortune myself of having a bike as a young child, and And some folks don't have that luxury, and are, some children that have special needs, really work with them on in the mobility.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Bikes, and Hyvee's been involved in giving away 2 of those every year, as well as obviously then our other support, how that just really transitions to what Variety as a group can do to help these kids in need.
But just seeing the kids get around on the bikes, that really is important for Hyvee, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, probably the thing I'm going to miss the most about being at our event every year, the Telethon every year, is just the excitement and joy of watching folks that for the first time in their life and enjoy the mobility that many of us just take for granted. And when you asked earlier about what makes folks get involved, for me, in my first year being at the Telethon and witnessing that firsthand, that cemented my personal involvement, and obviously, again, my representation of Hyvee just was cemented with an event like that. And I think for anybody that has the opportunity to see that, if you've watched that segment, it tugs at your heartstrings, and this is a great cause, and this is somewhere that we should spend our time and our money.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a passion for Hyvee and the employees in all encompassing to support what the great work that Variety does.
Absolutely. Again, I get to be somewhat the spokesperson today to step up and have the opportunity to talk with you, but we have so many folks behind the scenes that are consistently doing, again, good work every day to help with this cause. Again, I know
Dolby Audio Technology.
Des Moines area store directors in our Cedar Rapids, Iowa City market as well, actively engaged with the Variety chapters to really help these programs.
All right, Kevin, we have somebody who's just about ready to reach for the phone right now to dial 243-GIVE and make a donation to Variety, the children's charity. What would you like to tell them before they pick up that phone?
Well, I guess I'd just say that I look at it from my vantage point. I've been blessed in so many ways. I've been blessed with good health, knock on wood, all my life, and have 2 healthy girls at home. And so every year that I get around this time, I think about the blessings that I have and how I can help impact someone else and impact their life and give them something that I was granted at birth that maybe they weren't. And it's been a tough year for fundraising in a lot of areas, and Variety's had a tough year. Thankfully, there's been a lot of partners that have stayed with, a lot of folks, good folks that have stayed involved, but we absolutely need everybody's pledge. We need everybody to dig deep and help us out, because we do have a lot of kids in need that will benefit greatly, and it will change their lives. And I guess I always look at it, again, good blessings for me. I'd like to pass along some of those good blessings. So I just ask everybody to think about how they've been blessed and how they can pass that along. That'd be my ask.
Now, the Bikes for Kids program that Kevin mentioned also allows Variety
Dolby Audio Technology.
brand new bikes, locks, and helmets to children who have never experienced the joy of owning their own bike. How cool is that? Now, when we had to make the decision to shift gears with the Telethon because of the pandemic, and we decided that we are going to be putting the spotlight on several key individuals and organizations who have helped Variety over the years, we wanted to be positive that we included a man who has been coming back year after year for more than 25 years. He's a Variety Telethon veteran host, he's a comedian, he's an actor, and most importantly, he's one of us. He's David Anthony Higgins, and we asked David why Variety is so near and dear to his heart.
Well, it's been my great pleasure to be involved with Variety. It's one of the best charities I'm aware of in terms of the money donated going to the cause and not going to a lot of administration costs or advertising. I mean, Channel 5 has been putting on the telethon since 1975, and without that, we couldn't do what we do. And every year, I've only missed one telethon in 27 years, and that was for the birth of my daughter. And the idea of not doing it this year, it's not the greatest feeling. I'm gonna miss my Variety family, but that being said, without that telethon, which is the big fun
Dolby Audio Technology.
Variety, where kind of everything comes together, we need your help more than ever, the people of Iowa.
For those people that don't know, tell everybody where you grew up.
I grew up in Des Moines. I went to Roosevelt High School, Hubble Elementary School, Merrill Junior High School, born at Mercy Hospital. I left I left for Los Angeles in 1985, which to me didn't seem that long ago, but that was like 35 years ago. So yeah, born and raised. I watched the telethon before I moved away. It was on 10 years before I even left Iowa. I mean, it's been around since 1975 and has raised over $119 million for the children of Iowa. And if you think about it, the population of Iowa is 4 million people. And we've reached that like dollar per person goal, if you will, although we never have a goal. It's just we raise what we can so many times. And it's just amazing that the people of Iowa are so generous and take part in all the activities every year that help raise fund for variety. And that's, again, another reason why it's so important now for you to pledge and give funds, because there's so much need, and we weren't able to hold a lot of the events that we normally hold. The COVID has really taken a hit on a lot of charities.
Dolby Audio Technology.
That type of thing. And there's a lot of people in need, and the need has never been greater.
How did you first get involved in the telethon?
Well, I was doing a show called Ellen on ABC, and Ray Johnson, who worked at WOI, mentioned to, I believe, Stan Reynolds. Stan contacted me and asked me if I'd like to do the telethon, and I was familiar with the telethon. I said, of course, it would be my pleasure. Little did I know that I'd still be doing it 27 years later, but here we are.
Yeah, it seems very important to you, and we really appreciate you not forgetting where you grew up, and people can really relate to your characters for all these years on television as well. But speaking of characters, doing the telethon, I'm sure you've run into some characters during the telethon. Any one in particular comes to mind when you're thinking back about some of the people you did the telethon with?
Well, when we first started doing the telethon, we used to do it out at Adventureland in Altoona. And we used to get the Altoona ladies jug band, or no, what was I can't
the
percussion band maybe?
Yeah,
was that it?
Yeah,
and they'd come on, and when they no longer did it, that was a great loss, because it was very heartwarming and just very Iowa. It was wonderful. And there's
Dolby Audio Technology
involved in the telethon, and I've been lucky to be a part of it. We've lost people who were in the early days of the telethon, and they're all sorely missed. Gosh, yeah, just a lot of wonderful people. And the great thing is they're all there for a good cause. You know, I started doing it, and I used to ask anyone who wasn't from Iowa how they first became involved, you know, and it's the idea of somebody coming from, like Emma comes from England, you know, every year, and she is dealing with long-term COVID, and we all will wish her the best. But just that idea of all these people coming together from everywhere, Tony Hatch, you know, just it's a wonderful thing, and the telethon is also a way to thank people who are involved through the fundraising every year, to give them their shot, and they can tell their friends they're on television, and we try to make everybody feel real good about giving, because it is a good feeling. I mean, a lot of people just doing this work, you get a lot more out of it than you put in. That's all.
Yeah, and there's also corporate sponsors that have been around for a while, the names that you've been very familiar with, and I'm sure that it does your heart good to see them continuing to step up on a daily basis to help variety.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Definitely Hyvee. I used to work for Hyvee when I was in high school, and they've been involved since about the very beginning. Fairway Stores doing an excellent job. You know, the distributors, the vendors, all the people every year, Reynolds and Reynolds Insurance. You know, the other great thing is like how when you donate, you benefit Mercy Hospital or the NICU, or, you know, but they all participate in raising funds for variety as well. It's kind of a, you know, they don't just raise the funds for themselves, they'll raise it for variety. It may go towards their big project that year, but it's just a great feeling. There's not a lot of, you don't feel this terrible competition between all these people. And if there is competition, it's in raising money for a good cause. So it's the best kind.
Again, if you want to give right now, folks, it's real easy number to remember. 515 area code 243-GIVE. David, I don't know if it gets much easier than that.
243-GIVE. That's super easy. And please give. We need, the need is out there. I mean, so many great outfits and causes. All the things that you have in the state of Iowa, and especially in the city of Des Moines,
Dolby Audio Technology.
We wouldn't have them if it wasn't for Variety. The NICU units and how well they are staffed and the equipment they have available to them. And it's all because of you every year giving to Variety.
Anthony Higgins, an Iowa treasure who truly believes in Variety, the children's charity. And we believe in you, Iowa. We believe you have the ability to make dreams a reality. And it's as easy as picking up the phone, 243-GIVE. That's 515-243-GIVE, and change a child's life. Sherry McMichael, Executive Director of Variety, the children's charity. This has been an amazing hour. We've learned a lot about the people and the organizations that make Variety, the children's charity, what it is today. What did you think?
It was a fantastic hour, Lou, and I just can't express my appreciation enough to Iowans who have stepped up and supported Variety and the children in our community. It's been an interesting and challenging year, to say the least, but our kids in the community need our support more than ever. And I guarantee you that the dollars that are donated to Variety will impact our community and make a difference in the child's life. So again, thank you. Thank you.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Supporting Variety and our community.
And Sherry, thank you for all the hard work you do. And on behalf of all of us here at Variety, thank you for watching. And if you were able to donate or plan on donating at 243-GIVE, thank you for supporting Variety, the children's charity.
Philosophies of Barry Goldberg, a painter of words.
Psst. Hey, dummy. You looked, but seriously, I need your help and advice.
A master.
Dolby Audio Technology.
Mr. Rubik. Oh, I get the appeal now.
Innovator.
More curls, more girls. Whoa, he's right.
Ahead of his time.
NOS got shut down. Sir Isaac Newton when he invented the apple.
Barry Goldberg, hidden genius. The Goldbergs.
Weeknights at 9:30 on CW Iowa. Start your day with Sabrina Ahmed on Good Morning Iowa.
The PGA Tour and FanDuel have teamed up. There's always more ways to win when you bet the PGA Tour on FanDuel Sportsbook. Join today and place your first bet risk-free, up to $1,000 back if you don't win.
Ensure your retirement is set up for success by watching Retiring Today with Lauren Merkel on Local 5 Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. You'll love to hear new ideas to help you get ready to retire. Retiring Today with Lauren Merkel.
It all starts with an invitation to experience Lexus. To see how we put you first. To know a car company is inspired by people, not just machines. What starts with an invitation becomes an experience. Visit Lexus in person or online for exceptional offers. Now through March 31st. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Idol starts now.
Dolby Audio Technology.
What a time to be around in the world.